Okay, public comments. Who's up? Okay.
I don't think you guys can, do I need to go up there or can I just stand up? You go up there. Okay. Most, I know you guys can't enter. But some you do, some you don't, or some you can't. But that media thing right there, we can record all we want, right? There's no stopping us from recording, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah, just a question. The other thing is, our tax rates that pay people that pay taxes. If you guys want to see, we're one of the highest around here. Why? Well, hopefully we can change that, right? Look at what we have. And, you know, for a small town, that's too much. People wanting to come in with businesses, you know, we scare them with our tax rates. You know, Portland, look at Portland, Portland is at 0.718946. We are at 8.7357. We're high, just like Taft. But in Taft, you can expect that because there was a lot of, what can I say? Fraud. And you guys know that, you saw it on TV. Here's the thing. The people that are retired, and I've told you guys, it's nothing you guys heard before. You know, our elderly can't afford for you guys to raise those taxes. So hopefully, with the new council coming in, I hope we can change that to lower it down, you know, help the elderly, be mindful, respectful for that reason that, you know, especially if you pay taxes. But if you don't pay taxes, you don't have no much say so against or input. But that was mostly my concern that we got to look at that. Hopefully we can work with that and bring it down. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah.
Public hearings, none. Presentation. Corpus Christi Water, are they here? No? Okay. Mr. Hector Castaneda.
I guess good. I just came to give a report on the ongoing projects. I know on the EDA water line, they're finished with that, but they need to come back and do some cleanup and stuff like that. We still need a final inspection. I think their final completion dates coming up at the end of April, so you need to close that one out. I know they're still waiting on payment. I don't know. Normally, have they? Did Mary, we should get that situated or what?
We haven't received anything yet.
Okay.
We're still paying
Okay, I'll talk to Mary. And then on the wastewater plant on the GLO mid-run, I know I gave y'all plans last meeting. I don't know if y'all were able to look at them and have any questions or anything but we're still looking at going out to bid on it in June, July.
Okay.
So we still have time on them.
Do you have the plan with you?
I brought them last meeting, give it to the council.
Hey, I'm sorry, who are you?
Durham,
You're architect.
the engineer, yeah, the engineer.
Engineer or architect?
Engineer.
Okay. And that's it?
That's it, yeah, I'll come every first of the month just to give you an update if anything changes or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or if you have any questions or anything,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Consent agenda. All of the following items are considered to be self-explanatory by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these unless a council member requests. Minutes of March 23rd, 2026.
I didn't finish completing those, they all will be put them on the next city council meeting.
Okay. Okay. Action items, all of the following items are for consideration, discussion, and action. Consideration with action to approve amendment to the Gregory Economic Development Corporation 4B bylaws. Consideration, let's see. Oh, that's different. Okay. So it's the 4B bylaws. And it's really the highlighted, just the
Yeah,
highlighted.
it's just a five. We're supposed to have, we can run as many as seven,
Mhm.
and we're running on five right now, and that's okay.
Is that where y'all want to stay? Is that five?
I believe that's what we're doing right now. We're staying at five.
Okay.
The chairman can clarify that.
And this isn't a subsection, this is an actual, I was just going off of the agenda. So we're on A right now?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you can see
consideration
not-
action.
You can see are not subsections.
No, B is something else.
Here and set those off with the.
I was just going off the agenda.
Yeah.
It's not set for this stuff there.
So if y'all want to approve that change or that.
We already
addition,
approved it on the board.
Uh-huh. I guess we have to
Brian, you
approve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the current, is this the current, bylaws for the DGC right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Okay.
The
And,
only thing we changed is, five to seven. That's all we changed in our bylaws.
okay.
So it's basically what's
That we
highlighted.
can
Yeah, it's just the
have five and
highlighted
still
portion.
operate. We can still operate on five, right, Norman?
They're changing what they did, they're changing
Five to
the
seven.
membership, so they can have no less than five, no less than seven.
Okay, what is the documentation currently?
Seven.
7:30?
Seven. So we still have the capabilities to go to seven if we need to.
On subsection T, on here, for this one, it says each director must reside within the city of Gregory. So if, in case we wanted somebody on the outside, they wouldn't be able to.
No,
Just, do you think that that's fair in case, outside, business owners?
Well, that's something you'd have to take up with the 4B. You'd have to go to the 4B and discuss it with them.
Okay, so this was just clearly just for the 5 to 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it is.
How many, council members do we currently have? Like two?
Sure.
So by going from 7 to 5, do you think that's too much of an influence of city council versus the 5 to 7? Does
No,
that make sense? In other words, you have-
no, because the majority is not council. They can only have two.
Yeah,
My understanding is they can only have two council members
That's
on the
it.
In the
board.
documentation says that they can have 3.
No more than three.
Right, so they
Right,
can
so they
have
don't
3.
have three, they only have two.
yeah.
Are you
stating for the purpose of employing people?
No, I'm just saying, just stating that we're not over governing by city council and having too much influence on 4B. So that way we have a committee that's unbiased.
Well, the majority is not city council, so that's not gonna, I mean, that's not over influencing.
But at one point, we could have that, right?
If you decide, if they decide to have an additional 7, then. I mean, it would be 7 members.
Then we wouldn't have the majority vote.
Council will never have a majority, it will always be more of a.
It's gonna be the 4B board that's gonna have the final say.
Trying to see where, how many people.
If you have questions about the 4B bylaws, then you need to take that to the 4B council.
Well, good thing we have two 4B.
But that's not what they're here for.
They won't give you an answer anyway. No, not even
No, you
a read.
So
No.
the point is, do we want to accept the bylaws with the changes? If we do, then we need a, motion.
Yeah,
I will make a motion to approve the amendment to the Gregory Economic Development Corporation 4B bylaws.
they don't give it a number.
I'll second it. Okay. Angela Santarevalo,
Yes.
Aaron Boyes,
Yes.
Dominic Hernandez,
No.
George Hernandez.
Yes.
David Smith.
Yes,
Okay. Next is consideration with possible action to approve resolution 2026-0401, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gregory authorizing the temporary closure of a portion of South Gregory Street for a GVFD barbecue fundraiser event, providing for public safety, traffic control, and establishing an effective date. And that is to close the street for the,
right out here,
right out here by the park. Yeah.
like they did for Easter,
Mhm.
the same way.
I think so.
Yeah, it worked out well. I didn't hear no, complaining.
That did work out well. I didn't see any issue.
It's just gonna be closed from like Friday all the way through, not just for a portion of hours, that's just so we'll do that.
Throughout the
It'll be
event.
Yeah.
From Friday to Sunday morning, I think.
You would have to be setting up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an associated cost with?
So. Yes and no, depending on how the police officers that will be able to man the barricade. And how much public works will need to be there for stuff and clean up afterwards of the use of city materials. But I mean, it shouldn't be an inordinate amount of cost, without the pay for the officers to cover the patrolling of.
Okay, so I guess, is that on the cost, on the city cost, or is that on the?
Well, it would be city employees that are doing that, but the fire department would have to pay for it,
Okay, so there's no associated cost for the city.
other than possible employee overtime if we have to use like public works.
Okay, is there an estimated cost?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But
And just to let you know, I'm not against it whatsoever. I'm just only asking questions so that way we're transparent with everyone here.
no, because that's one of the reasons I brought the resolution this time, is because so that we know going forward, all the way in the barbecue, everything that needs to be set up. That also includes, I also went ahead in this resolution, included the use of this building. You know, because last year we kind of had to do it at the last minute, so I just went ahead and included that in the resolution of the closing of the street and the use of city hall, so it's already out.
Okay, was there any associated cost with fixed lot?
No, because we'll only be closing this part of this block. Does that make sense? And they can go around the block for traffic around the park, does that make sense? So we're not closing an intersection that people can get to their homes.
Okay, and we own the barricade?
We have some barricades, and then we can use part of the fire trucks as part of the barricade, and they can see kind of like what the police did with, getting the cleaning service to donate their time as well, as part of the barricade.
Okay, so just ballpark estimated cost on the city side, or on the city's portion.
Probably public works something to set up if it goes beyond the scope of the day and cleaning it up on Sunday.
Okay, so ballpark number?
If I may, I don't foresee public works really having that help set up much besides delivering the barricades. The fire department's pretty self-sufficient when it comes to our fundraiser and setting everything up for that.
So
That would be just like the year before. When they did it. Yeah.
no, well, the year before, they didn't post our section.
No, they planned ahead this time, so it seems like it's gonna be more well thought out.
Yes.
You know, not at the last minute like they had to do last time. So, seems like everybody's. on the
Learned by
same page.
experience. I
Yeah,
believe they
You
learned
gotta
last
do
year.
it, let's
They
see,
did well last year.
they should do well this year too, I would
Yeah,
think.
they will.
Should be better,
Fine.
yeah.
I'll make a
I
motion
don't have
to,
no
I'll
problem.
make a motion to approve resolution 2026-0401.
I will second it, no one else did.
Okay. Angela Santarevalo,
Yes.
Aaron Boyd,
Yes.
Dominic Hernandez.
Yeah.
George Hernandez.
Yes.
David Smith.
Yes,
Okay, next is consideration with possible action to approve resolution 2026-0402, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gregory, Texas, authorizing the Gregory Volunteer Fire Department and the city administrator to pursue financing and participate in Texas A&M Forest Service grant programs, authorizing the expenditure and reimbursement of grant funds provided for related matters. And providing for related matters.
and let's just go out for grants, right?
Yeah,
So just to clarify, this is to front the 405,000.
Yeah,
And then get reimbursed later at a later time once that is completed, correct?
Sort of. So it's not in their budget for $405,000 expenditure or even what the remaining amount of expenditure would be. So this is allowing us to seek outside financing because they have to pay for all of that upfront. And then it's reimbursed 90 or 95% depending on the different, or one of them is 100%. It's reimbursed on the backside of once it's produced and been inspected by the Forestry Service, then they submit the documentation and then the grant would be paid back to us.
just
So,
like the other grant, they all pretty much work the same.
But this one we're seeking external financial.
because it's
Yeah.
not in their budget.
Yeah, okay, so by us, I mean the city as well, or they're seeking us as external, or are we seeking external to do?
We are asking permission to seek external financing for this because it was not in the city budget and it was not in any of the capital improvement plans for the year. That's what we're asking. to do.
Do you have cost estimates as far as interest rates go?
No, because I didn't have permission to even shop around yet. That's what I'm asking for is permission to do that and to move forward with doing that for them.
So just,
so then once you have, different estimates and things like that, you'll come back before the board.
Yeah,
The board.
Okay,
She just needs permission to go forward.
yeah,
So
so,
all I'm doing right now is seeking your permission to go out there and look for that.
so regardless, we would still need to pay the $19,750 based off of this information given.
In the end, whatever the interest would be on the loan and whatever wasn't covered by the grant would be what the city would ultimately end up paying for the equipment. Does that make sense?
Yes, so the 19,750 plus the interest for external
Right.
financial help. Sorry. Now, is there anything that would subject us to not getting the grant paid for by Texas, or by receiving the grant money after completion, such as the skid? Like, does it have to be functional within a certain amount of time?
As far as the current grants that are out, there's nothing that speak would be, would stop us from getting it reimbursed. The skid we just got in, the only thing we're waiting on for that is for us to actually bolt it down to the truck, and then it's gotta be inspected by the Texas Forest Service. But there's lists for each grant as to what exactly has to be met in order to be reimbursed, and they're working with them in the past is not very stringent on that list. There's lots of extensions that you can get, or exceptions, or waivers. They're
Okay.
not
But-
very strict.
But each grant does have a list of
Yes.
requirements. But
Yes,
you
each
don't
grant.
foresee any issues.
No, each grant has its own list, and it's a majority of them, like the $300,000, which is the main chunk of it, that's for the tanker. So that's a 95.5 cost share. So they reimburse us 95% of that, right?
Yeah, 50 grand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, There's, I believe, 3 others that are 95.5, and I think one more that's 100%, and that's a training prop, right? But this financing, instead of doing it for one, we're trying to do it for all of them to bulk package, so we don't lose out on money anywhere.
And with the deadlines that you're needing the money,
I believe our first expiration date for our grant is in 2 months, and that is for the training prop grant. That one, though, we can file for an extension. They pretty much give us an automatic extension for the first extension.
Okay.
That's, I believe, 12 months,
Okay.
and then after time for that. So as long as we get the ball rolling on it, I foresee us needing to go past that first extension.
okay, and this was more directed towards council and secretary. Is this something that we're gonna want to look into as far as the reimbursement resolution?
At some point, once the financing is done, then we'll have to work out the resolution, how the rest of it is gonna get, like, so we're gonna look, see what we can even find to finance it at this point. And then we'll bring that back to the council, and then we'll have to work out how the rest of it's gonna go, how the city is gonna reimburse the difference, and that's also not in their budget. The difference in what will be left over is not in their budget, and it isn't part of the capital improvement plan, so they'll have to do, but there's several things they'll have to put in place in order to finish it all the way out. But right now, we're just trying to see if we can even find financing for it and what the cost will be. But I- Answering the
And just to
question.
know, I'm trying to see if we have a foresight as far as if we're gonna want to go after a reimbursement resolution.
We don't even know we can, please, once we have that first step, go forward. After that, we can sit down.
No,
again
I
and then move forward.
understand that. I'm asking a simple
We wanna
question.
foresee it.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused on what you
Okay.
mean by a reimbursement, resolution.
Okay,
I guess that's what I'm.
for those of you that do not know, what a reimbursement resolution is, we ask for, we ask for a certain amount of money to be reimbursed by a bond, per se. So this is something that would go into a vote, whether or not we would like for it to be paid back by the citizens of Gregory on top of the tax rate that we're already asking them to pay.
You're talking about having a bond election.
No, it's called a reimbursement resolution.
I would have to look into exactly all that entails and what amount of money that would ultimately be for.
Okay,
No, I just, because
wanted to
it's
see
kind
if
of
that
a
came from
interesting small amount. I can look into it, you have to.
Because right now, we don't have the ability to make any of those predictions because we have to give her permission to go and look and see if there's anything we can find to finance this.
No, I
And then
understand.
once the
We have a
financing
long-term.
is looked at, then we can start looking at long-term and what it's gonna cost. And then we don't even have to do it, but we don't have anything in front of us to compare or talk about first.
Correct, no, I'm just simply asking. a
So
question.
you're kind of ahead of yourself.
No, okay, I'm simply asking a question. If we have a long range plan and we can foresee that with our accounting to see if this is something that is gonna be needing a reimbursement resolution.
Happy to look into that for that, because it's ultimately whatever the interest remainder is gonna be, plus what's not going to pay by the money. So I can look into that.
Yeah, I'm just asking if it's.
Happy to do it.
What's wrong?
So do we want to give approval to go look for,
Yeah, else we're never gonna.
well, I need a motion.
It's gonna be, 2026-04-02.
Mhm.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Okay. George. All right, Angela Santarevalo?
Yeah.
Aaron Boyce?
Yes.
Dominic Hernandez?
Yes.
George Hernandez?
Yeah.
David Smith?
Yes.
Okay. Old business, consideration with action to approve resolution 2026-0304, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gregory, Texas, adopting a purchase order and purchasing policy, establishing uniform procedures for city purchasing approval authority, internal controls, emergency purchases, grant procurement standards, records retention, and policy enforcement, and providing an effective date. So this is from the last month.
Yeah, it was on the last agenda.
Yeah.
No,
I remember on this one, we actually currently have. Do we have-
yeah,
80?
this is, just to clarify, this is something we do every year.
80 has some information for us.
I believe that there's some questions with regard to policy. You're happy to answer anything.
Yes, ma'am. I'm wondering what we have, what we currently have right now at the moment.
Yes, the policy that we have right now established is great right now because we didn't have anything and we need it. So you have to follow the process. What we have right now is that the department heads, they're gonna approve everything up to $5,000, right? And this is based on the daily operations that they have. Everything for 5,000 to 25,000 is gonna be approved by the city administrator, and everything above 25,000 is gonna be approved by the year. The law says, and we're looking at the local government code 252, this is for municipalities, and it says right there that everything above 100,000. It was changed last year. It was a bill. It was 50,000
Yeah.
before, and then September 2025 increased to
Went through
100,000. So right now, I mean, she's being very conservative with the dollar amount.
Okay, but we can go more stringent though.
Oh, yes, you can do that.
Yeah. So in other words, we can lower that amount for department head or city administrator,
Yeah, you can change that.
but not go higher, right?
That's correct. Yeah, you cannot change the 100,000 process. That's by law.
So just to be transparent, we don't currently have anything at the moment.
That's
So
correct.
anything is better than that.
You know,
Right now, what we have right now, it makes sense. If you look into the other cities, they have between the 2,500, the 3,000, the 5,000.
Yeah.
That's your range.
Now, on section one, line item, bullet number 4, we have provide transparency and accountability. How can we provide that transparency?
public record.
What is the process? Right now, the first one is just to approve the policy. That's the first one. You know, to have a process that you can follow and you can show to the citizens, this is the process that we're gonna follow when we enter into anything. All the expenses that we have. So if you decide to go to the 5,000, you wanna lower it to 3,000, it just depends on the use because some departments, and I'm gonna refer to public works, that's the one that you're gonna be using probably more than 3,000, really. You know, they have an emergency.
Okay, I'm not really pertaining as far as like to total amounts, but that's what you're talking about, which is great. But I'm talking more of
That's right.
transparency as far as citizens to know how much we spent on this, how much we spent on that.
Well, everything is set for the budget. So you're gonna approve the budget, it starts right there. How much money you gonna be spending? And you're gonna say, line item, how much you're gonna be materials, everything, office supplies, you're gonna have that. So that should be in there.
Is that part of this documentation here?
Yes, right there, it says right now with the budget, so everything, and I'm just gonna paraphrase because I didn't memorize the whole policy. But it says right there that everything is between the budget.
Okay.
So the approval for example, for the department heads, it says right there that it's between the whatever the budget was approved.
Right. So under section 3, subsection, line item 3, purchases must remain within adopted budget.
That's
What
correct.
happens if we go outside of the budget?
Oh, no, they cannot do that. So
Okay.
then there's gonna be some violations to that. So then it's gonna be a process like you or this, whoever you decide to have it, you have to do something with that employee or that director.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
so putting aside the reprimands for that employee,
Correct.
moving forward, should we have some type of approval?
Yes.
That get presented in front of city council?
Well, by law is required to bring to you, you approve all the expenses. So that's y'all's job, right?
Right.
So this is just a process to how much we're gonna be spending. At the end of the day, you receive all the expenses, you know, for the month every so often, and you see everything that we will spend based on the process that you already have. Right now, you don't have a policy, right? So For now on, everything that you're gonna have says like, it's gonna be a report of your expenses, everything below 5,000, or the amount that you wanna agree to from the department heads. It has to come to you because that's approved through the directors, right? If you approve this policy. Everything above 25,000, or the amount that y'all decide to do, is gonna come before you for approval. So that's how you're gonna be watching the expenses. You have to review everything, and then at the end of the day, you establish the process of the approval process, and you establish the money, the ceiling based on the budget. That's the responsibility that you have right there by law.
I got one question. So are we gonna get a monthly report?
Yeah, you should have a monthly
Okay.
report. All the
But after this
expenses,
policy's
yes, you
implemented.
have to
That's,
have
I
that.
just want the clarity of that. We'll get a monthly report that,
Yes.
So that's
So
something
people
that,
will be
that
able to
is to
see.
be implemented, you know, through this one, and you have to have, and that's by law. It's nothing that because we wanna be nice.
right.
The law requires you to have that report.
And I'm sorry, who are you with, Tom?
I work with Ernest Garza. Is the
Oh, okay,
CPA,
so the county,
that's her,
no,
okay, right, he's a county firm.
yes.
Okay, another question I have as far as like the micro purchase, the small purchase, sealed bids, competitive proposals, non-competitive procurement. I don't see anything on JOC, so job order contract on here.
Okay,
I don't see anything on, CMON, which is, contractor manager at risk.
okay.
And then I believe that the thresholds that we had talked about were different from these thresholds in the last meeting. Isn't that correct?
yeah, you talked about POs, you know
Yeah,
that.
we talked about purchase orders, we talked about service agreements wasn't in here.
Mhm.
Can we add that in here as well?
Yes, you can modify everything, you know, this is just the base. You know,
Yes.
the base of it, according to the law. This is just based, again, local government code 252.
This is the policy. Everything else we can add on to
Yeah, you
it
can modify
afterwards.
everything according to the law. That's.
But we have to have the policy first.
I agree, I understand. I just feel like this is a great starting point. It kind of looks like it was put together by ChatGPT, was it?
Part of it was because that's
Okay.
how the attorney, when I spoke to, Cynthia Trevino, and we talked about the policies that were needed and TML, that's exactly, she said, use the TML guidelines, and I went back through there and used it originally to put it in a format of a resolution, and then I went through and matched it to TML.
And you can approve subject to bringing back the policy. You can approve right now, subject to bringing back the policies with any additions that you want to include. That's totally.
add-ons or anything?
Yeah. So we have to have this first, this is like the basis.
Well, this is just the criteria. We can't go higher, but we can go lower.
Yeah, if you want to specific the type of contracts, you can, so in your motion should say like approved with just that, breaking that motion, like you want to include more.
And my last question is for section 10, record retention. On that one, it seems kind of general and too broad. Is there any way to put some detail in there? As far as like, how long we need to keep any?
Records, yeah.
All of those follow the state guidelines for the Texas.
Yeah, they
records.
follow that.
Right.
But you want to include the probably the reference, the law, right? Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see exactly what.
That way we actually understand, instead of having to go and do all the homework behind it, of going to, Public Information Act requirements.
Okay, we can
grant
work
specific
on that.
retention.
Yeah.
Kind of like you have the 100,000,
Uh-huh.
and we have that in front of us to where, you know, our requirement for each one. I think that would be helpful. I mean, because we do have those thresholds on the other ones,
That's,
and we're getting in that much detail for this, but not other ones.
okay.
I feel like the more.
Well, that-
information on it.
Oh, that-
There's a records retention policy that has to be done too, so that would have been part of it, but I can add it for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, we can, I mean, this is, again, it's a document that we work on it, and then it's subject to all the changes, but it's a good start. Then we add in anything that we need to add. I agree with you, sir, like just to add more, the law, the specifics of the law, that is just coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, that way we're up to date too, right?
So this is the base of the foundation of the policy
That's
we need to
correct.
approve today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And again, it can be approved and then just stated subject to all the additions that we want to do.
yeah, you can look at the numbers.
I think that, also with the transparency part, like what can we do to make this fully transparent, but not just with the city council members,
With
by getting a monthly, you know,
Mhm.
expenditure sheet or whatever, but is there any way that, or any programs or anything that you recommend as far as the website or any programs or platforms that you would recommend for us? You know, I don't know if this can be linked to, info.
Yeah, that could be.
Okay, it'll be an info.
And I
but
totally
will all-
recommend that,
Will
you know.
all public have access to info?
That's correct. So, what you see on all the municipalities and also the political subdivisions on the websites, you see the data, right? So you click and you see the budgets and it's right there. And you said the monthly reports, you click on that and you're gonna see the monthly reports right there. The
Right.
expenses is another one, the check register is also that you can click on that and you're gonna see it. So that can be, should be added on the website just to increase that transparency.
Okay, is there a platform that you recommend?
Well, Income right now is the one that we can work with them and see that they covered everything, like also we talk about it, the purchasing process. I put that one like, hey, what about the purchasing? Grants is another one that we can be to see if that's part of the total system that includes that. So as much as we can get to optimize everything that we have really, and it's transparency, and it should be easy just for everybody just to click and just see everything.
Right, so info does that or info does not do that?
So it's part of their EPR program, I believe, EPR can, and those are things that can be created from the database that Input gets and all of our stuff, and we can create it and produce it for us. Does that make sense? I'm saying,
Yeah.
like as bill and payments and all of that go in, then you can actually go into Encode and say, we want to look at, expenses for the city for the month of May, this day to this day. And it'll generate a report for you. That's part of their packet deal that I want to learn about. So it actually creates a very interesting database for us as well.
So that'd be accessible for public people.
It can be created for council and then council can, we can put it out from there. So something like that, presenting it first and then it'll go full. I can't just create the report and put it up. I have to present it to council first. And then it can become part of the public record. Does that make sense?
Okay. It'd be-
Yeah.
But yes, I can put it up.
But we should do that.
Yes.
We should definitely do
Yes.
that.
Yeah, and once we get the
Most
encode set up, we'll be able to do all that.
We should definitely do that.
But we have to
That
get the
way-
encode set up
And
first.
then some of
Yeah,
this.
no, I get it, but
For the security.
good point.
Does that make sense? When I went to the meeting? Was it last week or the week before last? There's a lot of policies and things we have to have in place, so when they go to set that encode up, we have this to say, this is what we said we can do, so when we set the security parameters for us.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And then the last thing that I have is, I don't see any type of literature in here as far as, let's just say, PO documentation. So let's just say your first two numbers are for this department, your next two are for that sub-department, and then from there is another sub-department or whatever. I don't see any coding for PO.
Okay.
Do you recommend, or do we have it, or do you have anything?
Well, right now, I think it's everything we're using manually. And hopefully, I mean,
I'm sorry, what's that? I'm sorry.
we have, they use, the process that right now they have, the city has is this
Manual.
manual, right? So they go and then they put everything manual. So with Encode, and that's what we talked before, is just to include that purchase. So the purchase order is gonna be from the system, it's gonna give you the number. Also, you're gonna attach the contract, because remember, we have the cap, that 100,000 cap, so it's gonna be everything attached into that purchase order. So really, we need to get that system up and running.
That's correct. So what we currently have at the moment that's manual, is there some type of system that does that? Or do we have some type of cheat sheet that does that at the moment?
Right now, everything, what we have the record for now is
So it's a
We can
nightmare, it's a
improve
nightmare
it.
to follow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, I mean, the city is working to get that system in code and that should.
Yeah.
Everything's nice.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the budget, you know that all the numbers and everything are just, it's hard to follow. But once we get the N code set up and everything's running through the N code and everything's coded properly, then we'll be able to understand that these numbers go with this and, we'll be able to see it a little better categorized the way,
Well,
it should come up.
or we should be able to do one sheet instead of,
Yeah, and it'll
A bunch of
also,
them.
I believe, didn't you say that it will also create a budget book for us?
So parts of, and so there's a separate package for like a full budget book, but it will generate parts of a budget book for, salaries and payroll. I have to go back and specifically look, but like to create budget books for each individual department, that's like a separate thing, kind of like ClearGov that I kind of showed y'all where it breaks it down by department. That's a separate thing within Encode that we could purchase that bundle, but it will produce small bundled budgets for like, projections of payroll and salary.
Okay.
well,
okay.
So if you wanna work with what we have right now, is like somebody needs to be typing all the data and generate an Excel document and sending it to you.
yeah, it's all manual.
That's right now, just to work with what we have right now until we can have the system that we need.
So that gave me another question then. I feel like with $100,000 cap, it's required to go for a formal competitive procedure by law.
That's
Right.
correct.
So at $100,000, we'll need to go out for an architect. Is that correct?
Yes, you have to the requirements,
Hey,
but the architects with professional services, I believe that it's a different process. And I can get into that to look at the law and just answer, I don't wanna be guessing right now with the law, because I know the professional services, they have their specifics with the law as well. So right now, when I'm talking right now with the chapter 252 is just the general, that what they telling you, like the 100,000. And let's see, if you have something like you say 100,000, it's gonna be less than 100,000, right? But then 3 months later, it's like, I'm gonna need to add 20,000, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be already over your 100,000. You have to bring it back and just follow the process.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking, so with the Brura right now, we said that he's an engineer in an engineering firm. So from my recollection is that it should be an architect that we should hire instead of an engineer. You can hire them separately, but the architect is needed prior to MEP, which is mechanical, electrical, or plumbing engineer. Is that correct?
So we're talking about the GLO grant.
We're talking about spending over $100,000. So like if you were at 49,000, like you said,
Okay.
let's just say we're at 55,000, but we anticipate it being structured and unforeseen events, then it's smarter to get the architect prior to that. So that way, if you do exceed $100,000, we're within regulation, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So this
everything that like the project you're estimating right now, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. You're estimating right now, 80,000. But you still like probably other costs is gonna be added to the project. So I don't know if you have the total cost of that project. I don't know if that's
That
already.
would be hard costs and you're not taking it.
Exactly, yes. And remember, like you're correct, everything above 100,000 is required just to follow the process.
Look at the process, architect, not engineer.
So though that we are given an actual like guidelines for filling that out. So we have followed exactly what Grantwork has told us is the next step to do.
But Grantworks is separate, right?
Yeah, Grantworks is the one that oversees the
Yes.
grant, right?
Yeah.
They're separate from those regulations that we have to follow.
They should be on top of that, right?
Yeah.
They should be on top of
They
that
should be,
because they're
but-
getting paid for that. So they should follow everything that the 200 CFR includes, the Code of Federal Regulations.
Yes.
So if they say something, they should be the one telling you, you need to take this back to them and get it approved.
Well, this is
They're not doing
just
their
to get
job.
started, this ain't numbers yet.
Yeah, this.
So we can sit down and we can tweak it whichever way we need to tweak it.
This is for us to have a starting point to
Yeah.
work from. And then as we go on in different things, then we can add more to it, we can change it, whatever, but we need to have a basis to start from.
Agreed. I will make a motion to approve resolution 2026-0304.
I will second that.
Okay. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any questions? Here, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela Sáenz Arevalo,
Yes.
Aaron Boyce,
Yes.
Dominic Hernandez.
Prior to my vote, I just wanted
Is that a yes or a no? It's just a
to
vote.
think that we at least have a starting point. And we can go moving forward, we can, keep going in the right direction. We have a lot of homework that needs to be done. So, yeah,
So is that a yes or no?
this is a vote. Yes.
Okay. George Hernandez?
Yes.
David Smith?
Yes.
All right. We don't have a closed session. Any reports, anything else? No? Okay. City administrator, anything you need to add?
Not at this point. I'm apparently gonna be looking into a Fourth of July parade. I'm working on the next 3 or 4 policies to bring before you to get ready to go to info. We started the first set of documentation and moving forward, hopefully, I'm hoping I will have all that turned in and I should know at the next meeting if we have a hard date for installation of it.
Sweet. Okay, John.
Thank you, because I felt like I needed that little clap. That was fun.
Well, you got mine.
Like,
It's been a lot.
take from what you had to get it to where we can go forward, so.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. And we appreciate your work on this. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Make the motion you can.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Have a good evening.
Eric?
Who seconded it?
I did.
Made the motion. You ain't listening.
Actually, it's been a while.
I know, I'm so bummed they didn't show up.
How you doing okay?
I know, I just.
Raising costs.
Oh, I don't know. So I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah. We're not taking any. Yeah, we do that for some. If I was gonna see like your presentation, I'll be looking at it. I mean, because I can't. We only act like. Our product is water, right? So we make it, and so we're lucky that our product. No water. That's, I think the water. Like, yeah, we have, just, that's what I was saying, I in a big industry, right?
Right.
Y'all used to, but our product, yeah. We have the water, right? Yeah, so yeah, we're really lucky that, we feel they're so big, but.
Yeah, and there's a big push for, having the big industry cut back with respect to the process. So,
Yeah, so no water from the district, and we had to. We wouldn't even, you know, like, we have to.
Right. That's very cool.
No, it is, yeah, we're very fortunate. Didn't even have to do that. No, I mean, but we're very fortunate.
They unfortunately use
I know, me too. You know, they want, they and everything, so you can't. Well, yeah, that I was sitting, standing reception. Been a lot.
They say, they're saying, they were saying.